good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, like it is for here us in Australia. Thank you all for joining us in the Code Garden today. I'm Renee Noble. I'm the Regional Cloud Advocate for Microsoft for the Asia Pacific region. Here to bring you live streams and community events and coding and education and community stuff and technology straight to your computer. And I'm joined here today with Amanda Hogan, who is our special guest this month as well as last month. She gives us so much. But Amanda used to work in IT, actually at Microsoft, but she retrained as a teacher. Hasn't regretted it for a second. She teaches year 7 to 12 and gets to come up with new fun projects to support student learning. She also supports teachers with their ICT needs. And the best part of her job is playing with robots and computer games and calling it work. She also is going to write that textbook any day now. I will believe it when I see it, but it will also help you out when you get started. We'll give you a push. One day we're going to see it. But welcome, Amanda. Welcome back for your second month in a row on the Code Garden. We'd love to have you here.
Thanks very much for having me. It was fun last month. We got to do GitHub stuff. We get to do GitHub stuff again.
We love GitHub. It's very convenient for us. Let's see what we're actually going to be doing with GitHub today. In the Code Garden, so we're working. I didn't read the title out. It will help us know what we're doing. We're bringing your GitHub profile into full bloom. Of course, we love a garden pun here. We're going to tell you what a GitHub profile is because we kind of hadn't acknowledged their existence before, but it really kind of makes your GitHub stand out once you realize that you can change what your homepage essentially looks like on your GitHub. So we're gonna look at that. So we're gonna in the Code Garden look at today what is the profile, what is it for. We're going to show you how you can create a special profile repo that will replace your default profile with a new profile. And then we're going to create some content quickly because we're going to be using Markdown, which helps us really put stuff in without having to worry about all the HTML and CSS and stuff. It just does some stuff for us, really neat. And then we're going to be adding dynamic stats to your profile because there's some people out there who have gone out and made some awesome stats that you can just embed in your profile. But we do need to ask Amanda one question because we are in the Code Garden and every month I do need to ask what someone's favorite plant is. I thought I'd covered it last month with Amanda, but she did manage to have 2 different plants. So let's ask again.
I have more plants. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a gardener. So
excellent. What is your favorite plant today, Amanda?
So today I was walking past my acanthus, which is called an oyster plant, in the garden, and it's coming into flower, and that made me very happy. So my favorite plant today is the acanthus.
I love it. Yeah, I love a new favorite plant every day. It's good. I also have a new favorite plant every day. Mine today, I wonder if you can see it. Yes, maybe. It's in this window here. Here, it's got some flowers. It's a Oxalis triangularis, so I'm loving that one at the moment. So, yeah, get on those triangle plants. They're also really cool because, they kind of go to sleep at night and all their leaves close up. So that's very fun.
I can't get rid of them out of my lawn.
Oh, yeah, cool. I shouldn't have tried. It took me forever to get this one from a shop. I should have come to your house and just dug up your lawn.
Yeah,
it would be a favor to everybody. Anyway, moving on to the Code Garden code content. We've done the garden part. Today we'll be using GitHub, github.dev, so we can be using IDE in the browser. We'll also be using Markdown, which is the language that we're going to be teaching you. And then because me and Amanda want to work on this together, we're going to use the live share extension, which is really convenient. But first, let's talk about what is GitHub, because we've talked about this last month a bit, but if you haven't seen us before, we'll give you a very short message on what is GitHub. What is GitHub, Amanda?
GitHub is a place where I go that does the gitting for me, so I don't have to think about it. It does the version control and allows me to share stuff and puts it all in the cloud. Useful.
Backing it up, working with teams. And then it also integrates with other platforms like Azure and whatnot, so you can just deploy your websites, etc. So it's really good for all the logistical, development related tasks of being a developer. that's really great. But also we can use it to show off our code to other people, and so they can see your stats and where you're contributing to what different repos, and seeing if you're part of any open source projects, because that will look really good if you're trying to get a job maybe. So we can also use it to show off. So that's kind of what we're going to look at today. So yeah,
there's also a bit of gamification in there where it shows you your streaks of editing projects and making repos and stuff like that.
That's true. It makes you want to come back. You've got achievements and whatnot. And hopefully you don't break your streak if you're going for a big one, because you'll just be a bit devastated.
It's a bit devastating.
Yeah, that's it. But I've got a default looking README up here, which I've stolen from my partner Jack, because when I prepared this, I had prepared the events code, and it was on my GitHub. But we've taken that down for today. But it looks like this. You get a graph. You get one graph. You get to see what the stuff you've been working on recently looks like. And you can see some fun badges. Like Jack has one for his he made a pull request, and like Amanda, he also has one for the Arctic Code Vault, where they have stored a bunch, like heaps of stuff that was stored in GitHub and open source stuff in the Arctic. So if we ever need it, or if someone discovers our,
civilization
later, they can see what the technology was like at the time. So that's very exciting. You can see your fun commit patterns. That's what this graph is about. So yeah, that's what they look like at the moment. But I think we can do better now that we know.
Yeah, it didn't even know this was possible a couple of months ago. Now I know it's possible, and I need it.
We do need it. It's true. And so why would we bother to change it if GitHub's given us something and it looks pretty good? It's got this graph.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I want to stand out from that crowd.
You do.
I want to look like an individual. Well, I mean, if I wasn't a teacher, I could be maybe employed because someone went, oh, this is a pretty cool GitHub repository. There's a profile page, and look at all those cool technologies that person can do. Yeah,
it's kind of like a hybrid. It's kind of like a niche portfolio, I'm going to say. We made portfolios last month in the Code Garden, but portfolios could be looked at by like a wide variety of people, I would kind of think. Like, not necessarily like a developer, like maybe a PM, maybe like the boss of the area, but like I think you got like a niche slice of the people that you might be working for or with to kind of express yourself in a different way. I think we can be.
I feel like it's the portfolio executive summary. The portfolio you want to display and show and have some words and actually have people taken on a story, but with your profile you just want them to see the highlights real fast at a glance.
I think we could also be like slightly more fun, because it's like I feel like developers are fun and we're like we're quirky, we're using GitHub, we're so cool. We can have, I'm going to put some sparkles on mine, so probably wouldn't put it on my portfolio, but I would put it on here for some reason. So that's what we're going to do. Let's make our repository so we can get started on that. So I am logged into GitHub, and we can start by just making a new repository. That's it. We need to make it a special repository, which is very easy. See my name here, it's Renee Noble. I'm going to name the repository the exact same thing as that. I'm going to make sure it's public. Maybe I give it a description. I can't be bothered to do that for the purpose of the stream, but it could be like my profile repository or something. And I will add a README, because that is...
The first time that I did this, it came up with a little pop-up message that said, this is a special repository and you will need to make it public and add a README so that you can have your profile page. So it actually does help you through that process.
That's good. Yeah, mine didn't do that for me even the first time. So I'm glad you got the message, because I was told would get the message, and I was sad that I didn't receive the message, but it's okay. It does work, even if you don't get the message. So we're going to create the repository first up. We've done it. This is our repository. It says hi there because it's a special repository, and we'll see that even more when we get into it. But yeah, we're going to edit it in github.dev today. So I can do that two ways. I can either, I've learned a fun shortcut, Amanda, which is you can just press the full stop or like the dot, the period button on your keyboard, and it will just take you there. That's exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not going to do that because I want to have that open so we can actually go see it later. But you can do that. And so instead, I'm just going to actually change .com to .dev, and it'll also take us there. But I love a fun shortcut.
Yeah, I do like a fun shortcut. I keep forgetting the one that in github.dev to bring up my extra windows. Control-Shift-P or something like that. I just mash the keyboard until it works.
Something happened there. Oh, yes. Control-Shift-P is the way. Let's press the button. Didn't like us last time when we loaded this up for some reason. Give us the thing. Okay. Interesting. But I have a README. Let's make a new README, I guess. That's interesting. Okay. It's fine now.
Technology. It's
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so it doesn't have all of the fun things. I'm actually going to go back because it actually gives you all the fun stuff saying that like this is a special repo. So here's a hot take. I'm just going to delete this repo that we just made, and we're going to do it again. Maybe it will tell us I have a special repo this time. Who knows? Delete this repository. Yes. This is how you delete a repository, which you rarely do. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Sometimes it's frustrating, but multi-factor authentication is a very good idea.
Yes, tell us about cybersecurity, Amanda. Okay, we're back. We're back. We have the things. Well, we don't have them yet, but we're going to make the things. I can show you that there's actually another button that you can press to make the repo in the top right corner. Or I could have clicked the new button. Let's see how we go this time. Still don't get the special message. Maybe if I make it private. No, I'm just not special enough to get the message.
That's very strange.
Okay, let's do it. We can do it. GitHub, give us the things. Okay. Okay, fingers crossed. I don't know why it's giving me the special stuff. That's sad. Maybe it's because I made one already.
If you go back to the tab.
Yes.
And click on the edit button there, the like little pencil. Does it come up then?
It is all there. So yes, you should get all of this. It's currently commented out, but you could use all of these fun little emojis and stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to steal that. I'm going to put it in.
Maybe just be because you've done this too many times.
Maybe it is angry. It's like you get one profile, Renee.
Yeah, that's
right. Stop it. Leave us alone.
We tried to teach you, you wouldn't be taught, and now you're on your own.
That's it. We tried to tell you you weren't special. You get a special profile acknowledgement the first time. Please stop trying to make them and be special. Anyway, we have this now, which we have stolen from the other part. It looks like there's just been a little glitch somewhere because it is in the README already. So, yeah, we've got that, and we've said hi, which is exciting. It just gives us that already. And, but yeah, shall we take a look at some Markdown because we've made this now?
Yeah. I like that that GitHub.dev gives you the preview on the same screen, because if you're doing it just in GitHub, in the edit screen that you were in to try and copy this from, then you have to flick between preview and writing, and it's just a little bit painful.
Yeah. I'm going to also share this to Amanda before we get started. because this is the live share extension. You can add extensions with the little 3 squares and 1 square over here. And then you can let somebody else come and edit with you. So I'm going to send that to Amanda. But we're also going to talk about Markdown next. And Amanda, what do you think about Markdown?
Okay, so Markdown is okay. So you know what HTML is. We did a little bit on HTML and CSS last month. I'm just going to pull this over here. And you've also got a previous course on HTML and CSS. And if you are doing a full page or a full site, you absolutely need to know your HTML and your CSS because that's what makes it all fit together, gives you a lot of control over the structure. But if you're just really writing a single page, you just want a whole lot of content, you want to focus on the content and not have to worry about the layout so much, then you don't have to know HTML. You can just use Markdown, which is like a cut down version that allows you to use plain text, and you just have to remember a handful, or as I do regularly, just look them up, handful of formatting things that mean that suddenly you have a heading where you wanted a heading instead of just plain text, and suddenly you have bold. And most people have used this at some time. If you were in a message and you put an asterisk, 2 asterisks around a word to make it stand out, and then when it sent, it automatically turned it to bold, that's Markdown. You just didn't know what it was called. So it's easy to learn. It's fast to learn. You just kind of pick things up as you go, and you look up things when you need to. And it's a really cut down set. And for the really complicated stuff, I go back to HTML because that's what I'm more comfortable with.
Okay. Well, I removed this cat. Here we go. He loves to be in the limelight. Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few different things in Markdown today. But if you learn all these, you can basically do most things that you want to do in Markdown. I don't know any other things that I regularly use in Markdown, actually, other than this. But yeah, they are faster and easier than HTML. Asterisks, you can't do everything, but it's really convenient when you're content focused and you just want to do some pictures and you don't want to do the custom CSS kind of stuff and change all the colors and whatever. But you can put HTML and CSS and JavaScript into your Markdown. So that's also convenient. If you're like, oh, I really just wanted a quick thing, but there's one thing I want to do and I don't want to have to change all of my Markdown into HTML, it's okay. You can just put some HTML in there. But yeah, we're going to take a look at these basic things first today.
I think the only other thing I've used is code snippets.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, which I guess that could go well on a GitHub repo.
Works well in my Replit accounts for teaching. I put a little code snippet into my Markdown instructions for the kids. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk paragraphs, headings, bold, italics, putting links in, images, lists, tables, and then we're going to put a link around an image, which is the most complicated thing that we're going to do today. But you've already done the 2 parts and just going to put one inside the other. So it's going to be great. But yeah, let's talk headings first because we've got one actually already part of our repo that came with it. Normally we have to do these angle bracket things with the H and H1 or however big you want your thing to be. But now you just put an asterisk followed by a space before whatever you want to be a heading. And then you're done. It's great. And you can just do, if you want different size asterisks, different size headings, you just put more asterisks. 1 asterisk, biggest heading, 6 asterisks, smallest heading. And it's just easier than doing the angle brackets and then you have to do the closing one and the slash, and just easier. So let's take a look at that firstly. So let's make this a little bit bigger. So we've already got one. It came with a pre-prepared one here with a level 3 high there. But we are going to make ours a little bit, different. So I guess the first thing we want to say, I guess I'm going to say, hi, I'm Renee. That seems good. Amanda's here. Excellent.
I was just checking. It took a long time to get in today.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you have joined us in the digital realm text realm. I'm going to start by saying, hi, I'm Renee, rather than hi there, just to be a bit more personal, is my thought. But we've got a heading there, and we can change the size just by doing a different number of hashes. So that's really good. So that's step number 1, I think.
Oh, see that top of the comment, the Renee Noble is a special repository, that bit?
Yes.
That's the message.
Yeah, cool. That's good.
So that popped up on the screen when I made mine.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, that's what you're looking for if you're following along with this. Okay, I'm going to make this a level 2 heading because I don't need to be like that aggressive in my welcoming of people to my profile. It's my take. So that's our first one. I might add some structure to what we're going to make today so we can fill it in as we go. So I'm also going to add some stats later. So I'm going to put that here because I feel like we want, as you said, we want the executive summary. Put that here. You can put in emoji, which is fun. So I forgot to update this one to be the emoji. As you can see here, you can just put it in. You can also use the character code. So you can do either.
Windows key full stop for your emoji keyboard.
Yes. I'm going to have a section where I talk about my work. And then what else are we going to have? We're going to have some GitHub trophies, which I didn't know were a thing until we prepared for this. And now we have to have the trophies.
Have to have them, yes.
And then I'll have some recent repos, and that's going to be our whole thing. So this part kind of just gives you some things you could do. It's commented out, but I could actually uncomment it, and it could all appear. And then, we've got links and we've got stuff. We've got a lot of stuff. We've got emojis, we've got a list, which we're going to talk about later. I'm going to get rid of it because after going through all that work to show you what you get, I don't want it.
Another thing that I added to mine was a list of technologies because you can bring in just icons.
Yes.
So what am I fluent in or conversant in? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we should have a look at your one later, Amanda, in the show. Sure. I think. Excellent. Okay, cool. So we've got the structure. We've got some headings in there. So let's do some paragraphs of text. I like this one. It's very good. You normally have to do these P tags around every individual paragraph if you were doing HTML, but in Markdown, you just do a paragraph and you hit enter. And then it's like, the enter is the end of the paragraph, like you normally do when you're using Microsoft Word. And then it just figures it out, which is just a lot easier than having to wrap every single paragraph up in this. So that is it. I think this is the core of why Markdown is good. Would you agree, Amanda?
Yeah, absolutely. It just it cuts down on your key presses so much.
And your angle bracket usage, which you just it's not in your touch typing memory as much, I think, as typing letters. You're like, am I getting the right one? I got to do the slash, etc. So it just makes it fast and easy to do. So we can add some text. So where are we going to start? Let's start with just a little blurb about me, I reckon, below my title of hi there. I'm going to put in a comment. So this part doesn't show up, but you can use it to say this part is about this. And you can make something a comment by doing Control-Shift on your keyboard.
You tell me that now.
You've been writing these comments the whole time, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, but you can do that, and it just turns it into a comment. So if you want to comment everything out, that's a VS Code, but also comment in many other things. Amanda didn't notice. Yeah, that's a hot tip for you and your students, straight from me, plus everybody who's using it, which is, that's my most used thing, basically. I won't want this code right now. Control-Shift it just so it's off to the side. But yes, I've added a paragraph here. I could add another paragraph just below without having to wrap it in any tags or anything, just by writing the enters. Yes, do watch out for the enters. We will talk about how you need to make sure some of the stuff doesn't have enters or new lines between them later for some of the things if you do want them to act as one item. Otherwise, it does turn them into individual like paragraphs or have a paragraph in between them. So that is one paragraph. I'm going to put in some more paragraphs and some more headings. I'm going to put in a level 3 heading in my work. So I'm going to have just a little description of what my different roles are, because I've said at the top that I like to do many things in many jobs, which, you know, we talk about here on in the Code Garden sometimes.
Yeah, all the hats.
But yeah, here we go. Here's some Microsoft jobs, 2 paragraphs right there, super easy. And it's really easy to read through this compared to HTML when there's like all that like indentation, all those angle brackets, and you get lost in all of the stuff. Yeah. And then I'm going to add one more. We're going to put something in here in a second. So I'm going to say this part is I'll put the heading in. And then we're going to come back when we want to get to our list section. We're going to have that part. We're also going to have in this part about my work at Microsoft, some stuff about what we've done on the streams, like in the Code Garden. So that's coming up here. So table here, Control Shift, Control Slash, and then this one will have list of what we do here. Okay. Finally, a regular old paragraph about mine and Amanda's work with tech inclusion. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to have something. It looks a bit portfolio-y because we didn't have any of those cool GitHub stats yet, but like that's pretty good, I think. Giving some context to what you do is good, because maybe have a weird job like being a regional cloud advocate or something, and your commit history doesn't really look like someone who does development work every day. So yeah, this is less than, you know, be like, well, why do they only commit like every couple of days? And it's because I do community events and whatnot. So then that context really explains if you were trying to get another job. I'm not trying to do that. If you're watching this with Justin and other managers, this profile is not to get another job. But you could do that if you wanted to, if that's what you're up to. Yeah, if you're on LinkedIn trying to recruit me, you don't have to do that right now because I get too many of those. So move on from that.
But this is a personal decision. My profile that I made doesn't have anywhere near this much text. It really is an executive summary.
Yeah,
But I have fewer hats, so
yeah. It makes it very difficult to summarize yourself at any point. I got to cut back or something. I don't know on how many jobs I do. It takes too long to explain what on earth I'm about. But yeah, let's talk about some bold and italic things. So we can, as Amanda said earlier, you can put some asterisks around something to make it bold. Or you could put one asterisk around things to make it italic. I think it depends on like what platform you're on and what.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I think bold italics is sometimes triple asterisk, but you have to put a space in it sometimes. So
yeah,
it requires me to type and then retype and then adjust until I get the right one. Watch that preview.
Yeah. Okay. Watch the preview. Oh yes, watch the preview. Yeah, in the side
to
here.
See what it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put a link into the portfolios shortly, but I'm not going to do that yet. But I'm going to just do the text for you can see my portfolio here. And then we'll make that into a link later, but I can make it, let's start with italic. I could make it italic with the singles over here. I could make it bold with the double, or as I have prepared in my preparations make it bold italic with the triple. No space required in GitHub land.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, there is a spec for Markdown, but everyone has their slightly different implementations of it, I think. So sometimes you get something else. Yeah. But that's super easy to make that like that. And in fact, I actually already did some of them down here. So got some more bolds where I've put in this, not quite a heading, just a bolding of the text, as well as what do we do at connected code. So yeah, we've got some options. Yeah, cool. Okay, that was easy. Markdown makes it so easy. Me and Amanda were like, what are we going to put in this stream? Markdown. Oh, it makes it too easy. Is it going to fill up the time? So yeah, let's talk about links, because everyone loves a link in a profile or whatever you're doing to boast about what you're doing. Yeah, tell us about how links work in the regular times. This should be an S. Ignore this part.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I always get this syntax wrong in Markdown, and I'll invariably put the wrong shaped bracket around the wrong bit. And so then I have to work out, oh no, that link didn't work. I must have got it wrong again. And then, yeah.
The hardest thing about Markdown is remembering square bracket, then round bracket.
Yeah, that's right. So you put the text that you want in here into the square brackets. That's the text of the link, and then the URL to where you want it to jump to. And I don't know off the top of my head, but there's definitely a way to put in the alt text as well, because we're being inclusive.
The alt text is for the images.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But yes, that is correct. But yeah, you put the text that you want to see.
Very similar square bracket, round bracket issues, yeah.
Yeah, but compared to, like, I don't know, with HTML, it took me a long time to remember which one got href and which one got source, and this one, you don't have to remember that.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so we can go and put in that link to my profile that we were talking about. So with the profile, let's say we just want this part here to be the part that we click on, I reckon. Yeah. So we would put that in the round brackets.
In the square brackets.
Square brackets, no. Oh, thank goodness you're here, Amanda. And then we put the round brackets after it. It's already turned it into a link, we can see.
Yes.
And then we can put in our link into there.
Yeah.
And now I just have to find where my link is. Here it is. This is the profile we made last month. And now it's in there. And if I click here, you see our beautiful profile. So that's a link. We've done it, and it was really easy.
It's interesting that in github.dev, the 3 asterisks are formatted slightly differently, so that you can see that 1 means italic and 2 mean bold. If you zoom
in the text, yeah. Like if I do this, we will just get, like, you can actually see it as part of the thing, like in the editor.
Yeah, really cool. It's more that if you zoom in on the 3 asterisks, one of them doesn't look bold.
Oh.
It's really fun.
Much zooming. It is. Oh,
yeah, it's just a little bit different.
That's good. Yeah, so we know the inner one is the italics thing.
The italics one, yeah, it's useful.
Very cool. Okay, so we've got our link, which is good. I think that's the only link we have, I think, that is not attached to a picture. So we've done a link. That's pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Excellent. Let's talk about images then. As Amanda was saying, here's the thing that's very similar. And yeah, do you want to talk about alt text and why it's important, Amanda?
Oh, okay. So there are people who can't see stuff real good. There's that, and also that screen readers, for people who have even partial vision impairment, screen readers don't know how to describe an image because it doesn't look like anything to a screen reader. So having the alt text there means that the screen reader can read out what that is.
Absolutely.
And so people can understand what is on your page. And there's also other benefits, but that's probably the main one.
Yeah, just making your site more inclusive so more people can interact with it, which is just good for them, makes them feel included, but also good for you if you're trying to show something off and you can't just make assumptions about like who is reading your site.
Yeah.
If you want people to see it or hear it, then yeah, work on making it inclusive. Okay, cool. So we've got our, as we said, we've got in the, I mentioned how I always get href and source mixed up. This one image is source, but instead, actually, we're going to use the same square brackets followed by round brackets. I'm going to remember it this time, but just with an exclamation mark out the front. So we get, that will make us an image, and the alternative text for the screen readers will be orange cat in this instance, and the image that we're including will be cat.png. So let's add a picture. I actually prepared one for this on Canva. It's actually a GIF. And I know we talked about not having moving things on our profile, Amanda.
We did.
But what do you think about GIFs? I'll bring it up as you talk about moving things. Do you think they have more of a place here?
Yeah, I think so long as it's not very distracting. If it's just adding a sprinkle of something, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Let's make a new folder. I'm going to call it assets.
I heard someone say something the other day that I thought was really good. It was, we just need a sprinkle, not like the whole lid has fallen off the seasoning jar. Yeah.
Too salty.
I think that's great. Too
or
salty.
Something. Yeah. Assets. Okay, so making a folder, you might have multiple images in your thing. I think I've just got the one for today, but I'm going to upload a file from my upload button has been not working. We're just going to drag and drop it in. Wherever it has gone. Hopefully this is the right one. No, okay, here we go. Up we come. Let's click on it. That's it. See, it's just got a little bit of movement with the sparkle.
It's definitely just a sparkle. A sprinkle, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Even turn down the transparency. So we don't have to worry about it taking over too much of the screen, basically. So that's it. That's my profile banner that I've put for the top of my page. So that's kind of my executive summit is just mostly in that picture, I think.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm going to have to make one.
Yeah. Yay. Inspiring. Okay, let us put it in now. So I want it to be like nearly right at the top of everything. So I'm going to make my picture go right up here above my title. Yeah. Okay. Gonna do it. Exclamation mark, square brackets, round brackets. Gonna be the picture. Okay. And then I'm going to say that it's a banner. So I'm going to start with my alt text. And I'm just going to put the text that's actually in it. So I've written out banner text that says Renee Noble Tech plus Education plus Community, building with data web tech to upskill everyone and increase representation. Okay, so that's my tagline. Now I just need to include the picture. So I've put it in a folder called, actually, no, there's one thing. Or you can link it from here, but we're going to actually commit this first.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
Yeah, so that way, so we're actually going to start by going to the GitHub tab because sometimes it doesn't quite work as well when you link something in your folder. So we're going to push this and then get the static link from the internet to put into our file. So I'm going to say, okay, we're going to add that to here. And then we're going to say profile, banner, image, and we're going to spell image, right? Okay, so yeah, we're committing this to GitHub. So if you haven't used GitHub before, you can just write your little message and say the thing we want to push and be like part of our history essentially is this image here. And we go tick and you can do it. Maybe we can do it. Maybe it's going to let me fix this before it pushes it. Okay, what's happening? I'm able to commit. This is the 90s. That would be some sort of joke about people not wanting to get married or something. Okay, let's start by refreshing our page because I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, let's do it. I believe in you, GitHub. It would be really annoying if GitHub went down during our stream or something. There's very few times that GitHub goes down. I remember once when I was working at CSIRO, I was like, oh, I guess we have the afternoon off or something. So, okay, I don't know exactly what's going on. Let's see. I'm going to look up the how to embed it just from your file then. No, okay. Think we just want the relative path. Okay, we're just going to do a relative path link and hope that I know what I'm doing. Okay, so instead of that, we're going to go with assets. Where did we put this? Here we go. Okay, assets / Renee - Anna. Yes. Okay, that's fine. We didn't need to do this pressing this at all because it didn't want us to do it. I don't know if my computer is it's just being a bit strange. It probably needs to be restarted. I've probably been working a little bit hard. So yeah, we've got that. And as you can see, it's in there using a relative link. You can also put in a link to something on the internet here. But yeah, it's in. Great. One image done. So that's looking pretty good now, I reckon. Got little sparkles happening. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Everything. Okay. Everything wants to take over my screen now. Cool. Okay. We've got an image and we didn't push it to GitHub. That's okay. We're going to move on to unordered lists. Yeah.
So easy.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly how you imagine unordered lists should work, really.
Yes. So much better. You just do the little hyphen and a space, and then it's an item in your list. So let's put some lists in to this section here. I'm going to tell you what connected code my side hustle does, / the side hustle that my partner mostly runs now, because I've got too many other jobs. So you just do a thing and it's made it a dot point already, which is great. We hit enter, we do another one. It's just so easy. And then the last one for our list. So convenient. Yeah, there's just so little to say about it. You can easily have a list too with hyphens, brought to you by a punctuation symbol and markdown. So that's that. We've filled that part out. And now I guess we go on to the tables, which I think this is the most dramatic improvement, Amanda. Would you have to agree? The comparison of
oh gosh, it's so different. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It takes so long to make a table because you have to like do tags for every single box in the table and every row, and it just takes so much time. So I just think this is a lot better. So if we wanted to make a table with 3 columns, we just have the first column heading the
just
pipe.
Use those pipes. Yep.
Second one, a pipe, and the last heading, and then you can kind of make your line that separates the heading here, and then once again just the pipes. Just looks like a table. This HTML doesn't look like a table. So let's make us a table for some of the streams that we've done before. Okay, so we're going to start off with our heading line. We're going to put that in here.
Yep.
I need to put an
And put
enter.
the lines bit in.
The lines bit, yes. Put the lines in. Yeah, do you want to put the lines in?
I can't. I think
can't?
your refresh has booted me.
Oh, I'll let you back
sorry.
in. That's okay.
I didn't want to interrupt the flow.
It's chill. It's a chill time here in the Code Garden. Our plant ramblings and things. I nearly posted it in the community chat. That would have been fun if everyone joined in. There you go. Okay. We'll have Amanda back in a second. But yeah, we'll add the lines. Which, it's made a line for us. Okay. So then I want to put in some links as well. So I'm going to start. The first thing I want to be in my first one is going to be a link, which is here. And you can see it just like makes the columns wider, which is really nice. So it fits the stuff. Then we do the pipe. Amanda's joined us.
Oh, hooray.
Yay. And then we can put in, I'm putting in my list of technologies in my streams like this. And then the audience that it's for. So people know what to watch. So it's as easy as that. We've got a line of our table there. And it like dynamically updates to fit the screen real estate that you have, which is just very easy. It's a good time. I'm not going to write all of them out for you all at a time, but here's some more lines for our table. There are 3 different parts for each of them. And then I wanted there to be a line at the bottom, so I just put an empty one, an empty row. Yeah. It's looking chill. Okay, cool. That's a table. We're winning.
It's great.
Much faster. We could not have done this HTML in that time. Well, no. Amanda rejoined the session.
Copy and paste.
We would have needed Amanda to help me to do it, to like just get it through it in the next 15 minutes of the session. All right, we're up to the fun part with the flashy statistics. Yeah. Why would we want to put these in, Amanda? What do you think?
I really just like having A+ written on my thing. Like I'm getting a grade. It's great.
Yeah.
Because it summarizes you straight away.
Yeah. And like it summarizes your whole thing with like
commitment over time and stuff like that.
Yeah. And like it gives a summary of like your actual work done, because you could say, oh yeah, I write heaps of Python or heaps of Java or something, but then it's actually, if the stats, if GitHub says it for you, I think it means even more, because it's like, it's true. I did write 73.33% Jupyter notebooks. So yeah. But yeah, I don't exactly know what the A+ means, but I do like that I have it.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't even matter what it means. It tells me I'm good.
That's it. Yeah, you can see my interesting commit history for the last month, because it's like, oh, I have a stream. Oh, I've got a stream. Oh, it's all community events, no things here. But yeah, the streams, they really stick out, preparing for the streams. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I thought I had another slide on how we can wrap up. I don't know where my slide's gone. Interesting. That was needless work I did late last night then. But we're going to put our links inside of around our images. So we've already talked about how to do a link. It's really gone. We've already talked about how to do a link. And let's represent that. And then we can just put, instead of having text inside of it, we can have an image.
Yeah.
So let's go, because yeah, all of these things are an API image, essentially. So you can call an API, which is like a URL that will give you an image, as long as your URL also has your username inside of it. So I'm going to put a couple of them in here that we can look at. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, these were really great. The trophies one and the stats one, they're really good.
I'm going to start by putting some basic ones right at the top. So I've got profile views, which I don't exactly know what that when it starts counting those. But you can get how many people have viewed your profile using this API here. And then, yeah, you can put that in there. And we can also put in this one, which it doesn't have alt text. So I don't actually know what it's about. Followers, that should be in there. There we go. Not flowers, followers. So just going and just making sure that your username for GitHub is in these spots, then it will get these cute little boxes for you, which is exciting. Let's get some flashy ones, I reckon. I don't know what's a good number of followers to have.
No, I don't know.
Profile views, but this was
greater than 0. Surely that's
yeah. I had 3 profile views yesterday, so I don't know what this actually means. When it's actually started counting from. So let's add some other ones. We are going to go to the top area. That's the part with the stats. Okay. So let us have firstly I'll put in the picture, I think, and then I'm going to put the link around it so we can see what we're doing. Okay. We put in the picture. So we called, as we said, you can get a picture using an external thing. That's the wrong one. I've scrolled too far down in my notes and it doesn't look like what I thought it was going to be. Okay. Let's start with actually just what's it called? A social media handle clicky button thing. So, because I've got a couple of those to put in at the top, which I'm going to put right below my banner. Okay, so yeah, we've got a button, but you can't actually click on it at the moment, which is not ideal for social media. It's not very sociable at all. So we actually want to put that in as the content of our link. So the thing that you see, so before we had click here, but now it's going to have a link around it. So I can just put that in here as well. So, and I messed it up somehow. What is going on? Now we play bracket matching party. We have this one here because it already completed my bracket. No, let's get this. No. Okay.
Sorry, Renee, I don't see it. There's a lot of brackets in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of brackets going on. So yeah, this is our link part. That's what I thought we just had. Anyway, I must have added an extra bracket somewhere, but we can see image is in here. Okay, here's the image, right? That's the image and then the link. And then the second set of square brackets. This is for the link. And then we have the actual link, the link go to this URL. So yeah, I've got a couple of those for our different socials. And we want these to not be separated too far. So we just want one enter between them. So they,
not two.
Otherwise they separate to different paragraphs and then the formatting doesn't work. So yeah, I'm actually going to put some HTML in, some sneaky HTML, just a little bit, I promise, to make them go in the center. So I'm putting these inside of a div. And you need to have an enter after any HTML you put in. Because otherwise it doesn't render the markdown correctly. So now they're in the middle. So that's my sneaky tip for that. But yeah, these are the most complicated looking parts. But actually not too hard. So yeah, let's do one more and then we'll just pop them all in.
And you can always just use the HTML for the link image if you get real tangled up.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's get another image for our stats. Cool. Okay, there's my most used things. Then to start, we put another bracket here, put another bracket there. That's making it the contents of our image. And we can see it's currently in brackets until we put the round brackets afterwards. Excellent. Amanda has added us a nice heading. Oh,
Yeah, put some funky stuff in.
oh, that's good. I like it. Yes. Look, those are my technologies too. I'll just have them.
Yeah, I just pulled some in. Some that we overlapped with, yes.
Excellent. They're so good. So they're just done with the link images as well?
Yeah, so it's using this this thing that Shields does that you, because it was relevant to your Twitter badges, you can find lots of the technologies logos there. And there is, I was trying to find it, there is a place where you can go to find all of the listed logos, but even if you don't have a logo listed, you can find an SVG and put SVG code straight in there, which means that instead of this bit here that says logo equals Python, you could just, find somebody on the internet who's made the snake and put the SVG code in, and it will render the SVG into that little button thing. Yeah,
I love
pretty
it.
cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, no, we do have to have this. It's too cute to not have. So we've got that now, as well as our most used languages.
Yeah,
I'm just going to pop in my other stats things as
we
well.
could go find the one for Jupiter so that it matches. Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be good. So I'm popping in all of my stats here. So I want it so that this one is supposed to float up. Maybe it's because my screen got too big. Here we go. So now if I get a wide enough screen, they'll float and they'll be next to each other. So that's why here I've done just like we did above, no extra new line between these two parts, because otherwise it puts them in another paragraph. It's like this one
side by side. Yeah.
Paragraph. So yeah, that's that. I think just the last one, I think, is we have the trophies. We can put those in. We don't know where the trophies come from exactly, but you don't have them on your regular GitHub profile. So you gotta get one of these so you can get your trophies. And as a cloud advocate who makes new repos every week, multiple ones for the practice and for the session in the morning and the afternoon, I get a AAA, which is
as a teacher, same. Yeah, I make a lot of repos for like every little task we do in class.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's exciting. And then we've just got, you can put in some more of these linked images, because you want these to be linked, especially because you want people to be able to click on this to go to your recent repos. So I've got a few of those that I've put together that I want to put in here. Cool. There we go.
Okay. I might have worked out how to do the thing give you. So if we.
What is the thing, Amanda?
To put Jupiter in, so that's one of your technologies. So if I'm just going to paste that there, and then I'm going to copy Flask, and because you just have to remember, you have to go look up what the name is. The one for me was particularly difficult was Microsoft SQL Server. I tried SQL Server, I tried Microsoft SQL Server, I tried a lot of things, and it was because it had dashes in it instead of no spaces, just jammed together. So yeah, it took some research, but after you've done the research, you've got a thing. So in theory, this should work with a Jupiter logo. Does it have a Jupiter logo?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good. That looks great. Okay, this is even better than I thought it was going to be. So that's very exciting. Cool. Okay, well, we've got our repos, we've got our technologies. I do have one you can include that I've found, and like, well, I can't have two Twitters ones, but if you wanted another one to remind people to follow you on Twitter, then they could have this. Follow at Noble Renee on Twitter, and it's got a little count of how many people you have, which is cute. So you could have that too. But that's all of our site, I think, we've got there. I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, committed.
So yeah, you could have something like that. Let's see if it lets us commit now, because then it will actually push the thing. Otherwise, maybe I'll go to Amanda's one so we can actually see it live. All you have to do is push it, and it'll all come good. So we have profile update. Please work. Fingers crossed. No. Okay, that's really sad. Anyway, that's okay. We're going to go
to... At that point, I just copy and paste into
into the but I got my image, got my banner. I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go to Amanda's profile page, and we can see Amanda's the large collection of technologies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good executive summary. Yeah, with the dot points. Look, maybe I should have gone with that. I'm always too verbose, so here we are. Yeah, that looks so good. And then it also gives you like default stuff below, so you're not going to miss out on your little...
Yeah, don't look at my green tiles. It's embarrassing. But the other thing that I saw that was really cool is if you are a YouTuber, if you're a content creator, which I have been in the past, but maybe not so much at the moment, but you can put it will automatically fill in your most recent videos. So you can put in some code. And I just found it on a blog. Put in some code, and it will go and grab your most recent videos, and then give and see more videos link back to your channel. So that's really cool. If people have videos that they want their top 5 to pop up on their screen. I think my most recent 5 videos are all how to use SolidWorks for Year 8 students. I'm not sure that's going to represent me as a human, but yeah, if you are a content creator, then sure.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Yeah, so there's so many things you can do out there. There's so many different blogs on it, and like also you can just go into people's profiles and just steal from their profiles. I could just go to Amanda's profile repo and go, great, I love Amanda's one. Show me the raw content, and then I too could steal from Amanda's all of her hard work and finding all the logos, etc. So yeah, easy as that to get it up. All you have to do is commit it to your profile. Let's go back. And like once it's committed, it just appears. You don't have to do any extra work or anything to make it happen. It just shows up on your profile. So yeah.
Whenever GitHub's not broken.
I don't know what's happening. Maybe I just think it's my computer, because it hasn't been letting me upload images to anywhere. So I think I just need to probably restart my computer. I won't blame GitHub for my overuse of tabs and overuse of computer. So yeah, you would commit it, and then it would just be there, just like Amanda's is there, and just like mine was there until last night when I took down my practice one to make sure I had room to put a new one up. So yeah, but if you're keen to do more of this stuff, you can, let's go to this one. If you want to make a resume to go with your site, you can jump in and do this module to do a fun resume workshop, or you can make the portfolio like we did from last week, which is also really good. So yeah, we've got 2 times 2 episodes here, whether you like Amanda and me in the morning, it's our crazy ideas, or our more practiced one when we do it again in the afternoon. You can catch the first episode and the second episode of them on my Code Garden page site. And yeah, I'll be dropping these in the chat in a minute. And then you can also, you can go, if you want to learn more HTML, so you can put it into your Markdown, or just not do Markdown at all. You can go back and watch in the Code Garden from July, where we talked about front-end web development. Or if you want to get started with GitHub, you can also jump in and give it a go with my getting started workshop. I love a pun. So yeah, you can jump on along there and get started with a 2-hour workshop, which is also fun. So I'm going to drop those in the chat unless Sarah's already done those. But other than that, next month in the Code Garden, where I'm doing something a little bit different, where you can just come along to a Teams meet and you can just come and do a module on Microsoft Learn with me. And then, yeah, we'll just do that together. You'll be in there. Office hours. It's like office hours, except we'll have a thing we work on, unless you don't want to do that and you just want to ask me other Python questions, which is also fine. So that's kind of, that's the vibe for October. It's been very busy with Student Summit. And Sarah's putting the things in the chat for me now, which is great because I have them somewhere on one of my many screens. You can jump on that one. And also, if Sarah can drop the links to the previous pages as well, we would love her extra. You can get started, etc. It's a different opportunities to do some more learning with free Microsoft resources and stuff, because we love to give you free stuff. I love giving out free stuff. I'm bad at selling things. Come join us in November on the 8th, and the 2 weeks after the 8th, I think is the 22nd of November in office hours. I've got a morning session and an afternoon session, so you come get all your Python questions answered. If you've got any questions from previous episodes of In the Code Garden, you can come and hang out and we'll chat about Python and the modules. So we've got a couple the introductory Python modules on like doing some ciphers and cracking some ciphers and building a quiz game for the second episode session, office hour session. That's all we've got time for this month in the morning sessions of In the Code Garden. Thank you so much to Amanda again for joining us for a second month. We'll be back in the afternoon if you want to watch this all over again, and that'll be fun. So thank you, everybody. You can watch this on demand. It's on YouTube. And please, if you have a chance to do our survey, it's in the chat. We really appreciate it. But we'll catch you all next month in the Code Garden. Thanks. Bye.